So Will and I have listened to all of your podcasts and presentations at least once, and we're both very interested in one particular concept that you've brought up, and I know you probably wanted to delve into it deeper
Sure.
in your own work, but that's the concept of having the psychopath.
Okay. Sure. We could definitely explore that. Yeah, this is something that I do want to put out in a formal presentation at some point in the future. But I think, a podcast format like this is perfect, opportunity to delve into this topic a little bit. So, when people hear the concept of having the psychopath, I'm sure that's going to bring up immediately a lot of negative, concepts in their mind. A lot of people think that negative emotions and negative states of consciousness, quote unquote, negative states of emotions and consciousness, have no purpose and are there to be purged. There's something that we should be working on getting rid of from ourselves. And this is something that, in my work, I really strive to explain to people that that is incorrect thinking. Um, Sadness is there for a reason. It should be experienced. Anger is there for a reason. It should be experienced. Even states like hatred are there for a reason. We should hate ignorance. We should hate slavery. We should hate people who actually are taking other people's rights. Okay? There's nothing wrong with hating the states of having your right taken away. There's nothing wrong with hating the state of slavery. If you went up to a slave on a plantation and said, "Do you hate being kept as a slave and worked like an animal?" No one slave should say that they love that condition, not a one, right? And it is a perfectly normal, healthy, natural response to say, I hate this condition. No one should be kept like this. So even something like hatred, when applied to the correct things, not just frivolously brought out and expressed for wrong purposes or bad reasons, the state of consciousness, such as having hatred for something that you should hate, is part of a psychological makeup that is actually healthy and complete. It is not something we should shun or shy away from. Now, that being said, obviously we want to work toward positive states of consciousness, positive states of being. Okay. What do we really want? We want peace. We want prosperity. We want order. We want freedom. We want love. All of these things are what we want to aspire to. But we also have to be boots on the ground, pragmatic about what we're doing to move toward achieving those goals, achieving those states of being in the world. While we're doing that, we have to realize, first of all, and definitively true, not everyone wants those things. Not everyone wants those goals. There are people who are actively working against those good things, okay? That they don't want those to manifest. What they want to manifest is chaos, disorder, control, slavery, fear, all of it, okay? So at some point in time, what a person who is either waking up or has woken up is going to realize is that we are dealing with an entire group of human beings, if you want to even call them that, okay? Because some would say that they're something other than human beings, but we're dealing with people who are so damaged, okay, that they are not going to reverse their courses of action. Let's just face it, they're going to persist with that until they die or until they are removed from life in some form or fashion. They're going out in that state of consciousness, and they're going to have to change in a different lifetime or in a different expression of consciousness. Their evolutionary journey will not make any forward progress in the flesh as a human being in this incarnation. Let's put it that way. Okay. When you realize that we are up against an enemy with zero conscience, they don't care. Not only don't they have the knowledge about what's right and wrong, most of them, I would say, I would argue some of the higher order dark Luciferians do have that knowledge and actively work against it anyway, which arguably makes them even worse. But the minions, the order followers, the real, the secondary and primary psychopaths of the world, not only don't they have the knowledge of the objective difference between right and wrong behavior under natural law, they don't care at all. They don't care to know. They'll tell you to your face they don't want to know. They're never going to know. They're never going to bother to try to learn, let alone actually learn it, let alone do the actual work of what it takes to actually learn it. So right off the bat, I understand this is extremely heavy material for anybody who might be new to my work. You wouldn't want to start here. Let's just put it that way. Let me make that caveat, because we're going to talk about, it's going to get heavier and heavier. Okay. Now that this is just the very beginning of, you have to make this realization that there are people like that in the world, that there's a lot of them. It's not a small, tiny amount. It's a small, tiny amount that are directing these agendas. Okay. It's not a trivial amount of those who are going along with them and enacting them. It's actually probably, I would say, over a quarter of human beings. And there's many more who want it. So, it's a, I would say it's a significant percentage of human beings, not a trivial one. Okay. And those who are becoming more psychopathic are growing, not diminishing. Okay. You could just see it if you go into any major city. You could see what the consciousness is like. It's garbage. Okay. It's terrible. And if you're not exactly with their political agenda, you're somehow the enemy. This is how brainwashed they are, because they don't know the difference between right and wrong. They don't know that government is slavery. They don't know any of these things. They are still television watchers. They are still mainstream media absorbers in whatever form, whether they do it through the television or through the internet, doesn't make a difference. They believe the mainstream media. This is where a lot of these people's heads are at. Their heads are constantly being filled with poisonous garbage all day, every day.